Okay, so then let me start. Today, I'd like to introduce the company Saralon, and also I'd like to give you let's say, a quick overview about, let's say, what printed electronics can do in the near future in quite a different areas of applications. And but before I come to these areas, I'd like to give you a quick history, let's say, about the company itself. So Saralon, the company, I'm one of the co-founders and managing director in charge for sales and marketing. And the company itself got started 10 years back from an institute of printed electronics here in Chemnitz, located in Chemnitz, Southeast Germany. And Saralon over the years has developed quite a range of different functional inks, from copper inks, water-based copper inks, or polymer inks, carbon inks, and a set of functional inks based on silver particles. And yeah, we have over the years launched quite a range of different, let's say, applications, or we work with companies. They use these inks to develop different applications. But the ink is only one, let's say, side of the medal. And because what we also supply is we provide, we call it process know-how, because we saw there is a lack in the industry supporting converters and the companies who would like to start in the field of printed electronics. And so somehow to overcome all these, let's say, painful process, learning it the hard way, Saralon provides, we call it the process transfer. We enable companies to produce printed electronics in-house. And yeah, I think it's so far it's quite successful. What you see here in the video, it's just an example printing, a fully printed battery with our ink set. And this is done by one of our partner companies or customers in Netherlands. So it's quite simple. If you know how to, let's say, handle the process, and you have the right set of inks, you can easily enter such a new emerging technology. And this is what Saralon does. We enable companies to enter that thing and not being afraid of all, let's say, the hard R&D or all the painful things. So this is more or less what we call ink tech. So it's not just the ink, it's also the process. So, and now I'd like to address a few areas where you can use our inks and to simply enter some emerging new technology fields. So today, I'd like to cover our solutions for stretchable electronics, for in-mold electronics, then some printed sensors, and finally, I'd like to highlight our solutions for heating elements. So there's quite a number of, on the left side, you always see some key application areas that we consider, let's say, in the future becoming some hot topics and some very growing markets, such as smart textiles or wearable applications, either in sports or medical areas, or the automotive interior sector. Yesterday, actually, we attended an automotive interior show in Stuttgart, where we also presented some solutions for, let's say, some detection, some methods, and because it's also a very growing market. So that's why, these markets, they require certain, let's say, properties, or they have certain requirements in terms of stretchability, applying forces to the inks, and so on. And that's why Saralon developed a set of stretchable inks, either to be printed directly on textile or to be printed on plastic or to be printed on paper to, let's say, fulfill all these requirements, but on the other hand, also maintain their functionality. So, and currently we are running, let's say, some joint developments and also tests with quite some big players in the industry and some institutes to get some feedback about the performance of the inks and to further develop it. And then also jointly to develop final applications that can finally solve some issues and some demands in the market. Here, as I said, you just see a few, let's say, application areas. The next area I'd like to highlight quickly is it's so-called in-mold electronics. So what's the difference between stretchable inks and, let's say, inks that can be used for in-mold electronics? The difference is, instead of applying the inks on a stretchable substrate and then later on, let's say, applying these or gluing this substrate into, let's say, plastic housing or so, here you actually apply the inks on a substrate like polycarbonate, and then you finally do a thermoforming process, which means you apply some pressure and heat, and then the inks actually, the surface itself becomes a three-dimensional surface, but still the functionality remains intact. So which means you create a three-dimensional